Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Epic Vision Zone. My name is Jane Applegath, a former award-winning stockbroker, television producer, scriptwriter, yoga instructor, and serial entrepreneur, now founder of the Epic Vision Zone. I'm here to help you fulfill your big dream by showing you how a powerful vision is the portal to messaging, money, and meaning. Because I know having access to the right words and a vivid imagination are the keys to cultivating connection, financial freedom, and living a more abundant and joyful life. I'd be honored to help you get there. Feel free to contact me by going to the contact page on janeapplegath.com. Looking forward to hearing from you. Here at the Epic Vision Zone, we bring you some of the world's most influential people to inspire you to hit the go button on your epic life. A big thank you to everyone for being here. Socrates wrote, "Let him who would move the world first move himself." Kristi H. Sullivan is a human design and self-care expert, author, and speaker on a mission to help busy women stop overworking and start overflowing by learning how to master their energy systems and self-care practices. Kristi hosts a virtual community of female development junkies just like herself to create better wellness, improve relationships, shift mindsets, and manifest more success, wealth, and freedom to live their best life by design. She is lead author in the best-selling Amazon book called Stop Overworking and Start Overflowing. 25 Ways to Transform Your Life Using Human Design, published October 2021 with 25 other human design practitioners. Kristi teaches workshops internationally and is co-author of 3 collaborative books that she produced during the 2020 pandemic. She's been a very busy woman. This year, Kristi is an author in The Ultimate Guide to Creating Your Soul-Aligned Business and is working on her 6th anthology. Welcome, Kristi. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Jane. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, I can't wait to get started on this subject because it has fascinated me and I've heard it in different platforms. So first of all, give us an idea of what inspired you to develop your business.
Well, I had an actual career change in 2020, and it gave me the opportunity to really decide where did I want to go after a long-time marketing career. But I always had a passion for health and wellness and personal development. And I had learned about human design about 7 years ago. And so I had an opportunity to speak about it to a group that didn't know much about human design. Some of the women wanted readings and to learn more about it. So I decided, you know what, I think I'm going to start teaching this. And so that really inspired me, was responding to this talk and the feedback I gave to it. And I really enjoy human design. It's something I love to teach about. I still am learning about it, and the consummate student and teacher.
I love that because, like you said, it's unfolding, and I believe there is a lot that to unpack here. So what is the human design system, and why do you call it the mechanics of your operating system?
Yeah, so it is a system that brings together astrology, Kabbalah, I Ching, and the chakra system, ancient wisdoms, and it was melded together in the 80s by the creator. And so I consider it sort of what's underneath your personality, the things that you learn throughout life, in your character. This is who you are at your core because it's based on your birth date, and it's how you were, I say, encoded into this world. And if you think about a car and we're driving that car down the path of life, this is the wiring in that car and how that car looks on the inside, and it's unique to who you are. There's over 2 billion combinations. So really knowing that this is unique to you, and that we can embrace that uniqueness when we understand who we are at our core.
That is the fact that it has all those ancient practices combined into one. It must make it so powerful and meaningful. How do you determine a human design style?
So again, you use your birth information, and you can find a couple places on the internet where you can input your information and get your chart. But then it's very complex looking and has a lot of shapes and symbols. So sometimes speaking to somebody about that can help you understand what all those symbols and shapes mean. And usually what we do is we start with the energy type, and based again on your birthday, you're one of four main energy types. There's one that has a subset, so one of five types that you can be, and once we look at your design, that's where we start.
Wonderful. Well, given that information, and hopefully a little later on, you'll unpack those different types and just give us a highlight of how, well, maybe right now, tell us, just give us the names of some of
Sure.
those types and a little bit of what each one means.
Sure. So a quick run through is that 70% of the population are generators, or a subset called manifesting generators. And we're here to be the busy energizer bunnies. We're the worker bees. We like doing things through the day and just getting things accomplished, following through on things. And then we also have a type called the manifester, and they're actually here to create and initiate. And the generators are here to do the follow through. So once we understand that we have different energy blueprints, and we can work much more easily and without the hard work if we're in the roles that we're meant to be. We have another type called the projector that are 20% of the population, and they're here to manage and guide and provide wisdom to the other energy types. And then we also have a rare reflector that are 1% of the population, and they're here to help reflect back sort of the health of the community. So those are the five energy types, and in a way they're sort of an ecosystem, each having a role to help maintain the community.
Well, knowing that information, then how does it serve a person, both personally and professionally? Because I know this is something that could really help individuals once they're aware of not only their own type, but maybe someone else's as well.
Of course, yes. It helps you to really honor who you are, more of who you are. It validates you. It helps you to understand who you're not, and to understand that other people who are around you, they have their own unique blueprint. They have their own way of operating. And it can improve things like relationships and communication. It can help you with guiding your business and deciding how to promote yourself. It could help you in just overall maybe health, even choosing, your self-care practices. And so in many different ways, all aspects of life, and to help you, like the book says, to stop overworking and start overflowing and thrive.
I love that title, by the way. I spoke earlier with Kristi and I said, oh my gosh, that is the perfect title, especially today, when we have so much going on in the world. And just to give us a little insight, I love that you want us to get into flow. That's something that's really connecting to all of us. So is there a way of explaining a little bit of how that knowing these types, or knowing what your type is, does create a sense of ease and flow for the individual?
Yeah, so ease and flow for each of the types really shows up as things feeling a little more effortless, that we don't have this notion that we have to work hard to create success. Of course, doing the right kind of work as a generator, for example, will light you up and give you the energy, and it almost won't feel like you're doing work as a generator. I mentioned 70% are either generators or manifesting generators. The other 30% don't have the same consistent energy that a generator does, at least not without a lot of downtime. So part of the flow of the projectors, the manifestors, and reflectors is to be sure that they're taking some alone time and downtime to recharge themselves throughout the day. And that alone, just those ways of thinking about what brings me energy? What do I need, like downtime or self-care, to regenerate my energy, can help that flow of energy so that you get more clarity, you get more ease, making decisions from your body wisdom comes much easier. You also feel like you're in the right place with the right timing. And, there's often sometimes what we call burnout that happens with all the energy types, because that shows we're not in alignment. We're not in the flow if we're feeling burned out, drained, frustrated, or just overwhelmed.
Alignment. That's the key word. And I think in reading over some of your information, I got the feeling that if you know your type, say, for example, projector, if you are feeling your batteries are running low, that's a sign, given your makeup, that just give yourself a break, because it's telling
Mm.
you that maybe that's what you need right now. And I think now I understand why you have self-care connected with all of this. But yes, being in alignment is something that is very crucial in today's world. So if someone were to go out and select a human design expert, what would be some of the things that they want to look for so that they can have the best experience?
Mm. Well, I think of human design as sort of like yoga, because I started teaching yoga about 20 years ago. And yoga, which is an ancient system, the lessons are passed down, and yet you have different yoga teachers, different styles of yoga. They still come from the same wisdom and principles. So I think it's important that maybe you look through and see what kind of practitioner are you looking for. For example, maybe you're looking one more specific around your business or relationships, and some practitioners are specified or their specialty is in that area. And for me, for example, I just enjoy teaching the basics in a simple way so people understand this complex system, or at least a starting point. But then many practitioners kind of have different aspects that they focus on. And some, for example, do great podcasts. Some do one-on-one readings. Some do group coaching. So I think understanding what you might need first and what your sort of end goal is can help you to find the right practitioner.
Yes, I could see that, because I have been a yoga instructor, and people are attracted to those groups of certain instructors, or even teachers. I remember in grade school, there were certain teachers that I really liked and certain teachers that I didn't like at all. And you're absolutely right. I mean, there has to be that connection between the two. And that was great information. So I know that we just touched very briefly on self-care, but why is self-care a big part of your teaching?
Well, again, I have this yoga background, but I also, through my own experience, and when I was learning about human design, I was going through some tough things in my life where self-care really became important. I was a caregiver. I was having some difficulties in my relationship. I had some sudden news that came about that I wasn't prepared for, and things in my job. So I really knew that taking care of myself, clearing self-limiting beliefs, as well as understanding sort of what energy that I might be carrying that I needed to shift or release, mindset work, that deeper inner self-care that I was doing really helped me through those times. And as I learned my human design, I recognized that even just doing that helped align my energy, helped me find my flow. And so if you don't know much about human design, I think self-care is an excellent way. And it's the self-care that makes you feel good, that nurtures you, and it's different for everybody, doesn't have to look the same. But just tuning into what can you do on a daily basis, like putting on an oxygen mask, to make sure that you're nurturing and feeding yourself the right things for your mind, body, and spirit. I call it, again, that deeper self-care is really important because it's not only about wellness, through like food and exercise and sleep. It's also around what are the things that are blocking us, or that are mindsets that don't serve our energy and our lifestyle. So looking at that to do your inner work, I think, is really important.
So just give us an example for a quick second of what a practice that you do every day that helps you get either self-care or feel in alignment. Just give us an example.
Yeah, and I want to say mine is usually a variety every day. It's not always the same. It could be a little of meditation, walking in nature whenever it's nice out. I love to do as often as I can. But I also enjoy things like just being with my cat and taking some downtime to play with her. I also enjoy things like tapping to help center me, emotional freedom technique or tapping. And I've done some work around with ancestral clearing too. So sometimes just listening to a podcast, getting inspired by that, and kind of helping me to remember who I am at my core, sometimes doing journaling. So it's a variety for me, but those are some examples.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I think that was fabulous, because when you were saying something every day, I was thinking, oh, you must do the same thing every day, but it's fine to mix it up as long as you feel that that's what you need that day. So yes, and I agree. I love grooming my kitty cat. I love her when she purrs. It just makes me feel calm. And it's funny because my friend has a dog, and I pet the dog, and I going, why isn't the dog purring? And I go, oh yeah, it's a dog. It's just that deep vibration. And it's, anyway, whatever. So your business uniqueness. Now, there are other human design experts, and just give our audience an idea of what makes your business unique from others.
Well, like I said, what I like to do is help simplify what the message is and the teachings for human design, so that people can then take it and apply it to everyday life, so that they can have those aha moments and understand who they are at a deeper level. A lot of times it's validating and liberating for them to hear, yes, this is you, and be more like that, and don't fight that. And I think just helping people and guide people with other resources. I certainly don't consider myself the expert, and there are many. And so I often will tell people about other practitioners or other podcasts and books and resources that are out there. I bring in guest speakers to my membership group to share their wisdom and insight. And part of my design is a connector, an opportunist to help bring together people. And so I really enjoy doing that as part of my business, and making sure that people have access to resources. And again, everyone needs something different. I don't have one set formula to say you have to do this process in order to learn about your design and live it.
I could see that, because as an expert, I would feel that one of your uniqueness is actually tuning into the individual that you're working with. And it's a very personal aspect, in the sense that everyone, like you said, is a little different, but within that group, they probably have other things. And just finding out what it is that makes people tick and what makes them connect is a gift. And I feel that that's something that you can bring to your platform. And also, I love the fact that you collaborate with others. That's learning and growing, which is a huge part of being human. Because if we're not learning and growing, it's like any muscle. We have to keep the mind moving forward, because I find it's very exciting to learn new things. And then how do we apply it? So I love that expansion opportunity, and the fact that, we can learn from everybody. So thank you for that information. What results do you hope that people walk away from your coaching? Now, I know it can be very individual, but let's say there's a group or, the flow is very important, but could you name a couple of other results that you hope people walk away from or walk away with?
Yeah, I think that as part of understanding our human design, we also have to understand how we're conditioned and programmed. Those are the layers
Mm.
on top of that core. So part of my journey and what I want to help others with is to again connect to the resources or to practices that can help them with that deconditioning, to help them understand what are those self-limiting beliefs that perhaps don't serve them anymore. And so I've had clients who suddenly, they are shifting their businesses because they are giving themselves permission to have more downtime and stopped that belief that, oh, I'm lazy. No, it's because your energy system needs some downtime. Or I had one client who said she made more money in 1 month after the reading because she took time for more self-care and just honored more of who she was. Also, I have other clients who just not only in their business, but just in their families, again, in relationships and communication, just are finding things to be more easy and not so much hard work. And even in my own experience, I find that I'm more able to honor that other people around me are operating from a different perspective, a different place. So even just that awareness that can help us with creating more harmony and balance in our life. And I think that's important right now more than ever.
Oh my gosh, is it ever? We need to put you out there front and center. More harmony and balance is what the world needs right now, for sure. In fact, they
For
asked
sure.
a question recently of a group of people, and they said how many people are overwhelmed with thinking of their future, and every single person put their hand up. Yeah, so it's harmony and balance is really, and that's all about the alignment, right? But we have to learn, and this is why we're here. And I appreciate your insight and what this human design can do for individuals. I'm excited to say that Kristi has offered to do a mini reading of my particular uh, energy code or whatever it is that they call it in human design. So go ahead, Kristi.
Yeah, so I pulled up your human design chart based on your birth information that you gave me. And you are one of those 5 energy types that I described, and that is the projector. Projectors are 20% of the population. And it means that you're here to share wisdom and insight and manage and guide other energy types. What's important for projectors, however, is that they be invited to do so. They have such great wisdom, but they want to be sure to share it with the right people. And that can be sort of a great way for projectors to conserve their energy so that they're not sharing it and trying to manage folks that may not be looking for that. So one of the great strengths of a projector is their aura to attract the invitations from the people who will recognize that you have this great wisdom and insight. And I think one way that you do that probably is through this podcast, right? Does that sound like you?
Yes, it sounds spot on. Exactly.
Yeah, and the other aspect too about your design that I will touch on, and we talked about this. We talked about the types. We didn't talk about the decision making, but we know that conditioning in the head will often tell us that we need to make a decision using our intelligence and brain in the head. But really, the best way for you to make decisions, and this comes from the body, is for you to speak it out loud and to hear yourself kind of saying the words, almost like you're thinking out loud. And you can be talking to your pet. It doesn't have to be another person, and they don't need to be giving you feedback. It's just that you saying something out loud can help you with making decisions. Again, does that sound like you?
Yes, it does. And I'm going to practice that more actually. But people, if I'm mumbling to myself walking down the street, people just, oh, I'll just ignore them. But yeah, that
Yeah,
does sound like me. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
definitely, that's what I usually hear is like, yep, I'm mumbling. Yep, that's probably a sign of what's called the sounding board authority. So just knowing like those two things, that you're a projector, you also need a lot of downtime because you're not a generator who's got that go, 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 not just go, go, go energy, but battery. You need downtime to recharge yourself throughout the day so you can share your wisdom, be more of who you are, and use that sounding board. So I hope that's helpful.
Yes, it is. Thank you. It's very insightful. Because we go along through our days every day, every week, every month and year, and we don't stop to pause and think, who are we? What makes us click? What helps us be better individuals, or like you said, be in the flow, which is so important to be in the flow, because then you're not really at odds with yourself, because being at odds with yourself, and I think a lot of people are, because they're going against whatever their human design is or their human energy code, they're exhausted. And so yeah, that
Mm.
really is helpful, and I can see that I am living out part of my energy code, no question, with these interviews. So I thank you for that, Kristi. That was very insightful. So what are you most excited about in your life right now?
Well, I think you mentioned I'm working on book 5 and 6 that are going to be launching this year. And I am in a collaborative book, so I've written one chapter with other authors. So I'm really excited about those that are coming out, and just growing my community and speaking more and reaching more people who haven't heard about human design, so that they can start to explore it and maybe connect with me. So I'm just excited that I don't plan too far ahead in the future, because I know that as a generator, opportunities come my way, and sometimes unexpected ones that are really going to be on the right path for me. So I look forward to that, and just to making sure that I stay aligned as much as I can.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Are there any last words that you'd like to share with our audience?
I just think that, we're all here again to find out who we uniquely are, to honor that. I loved how you mentioned the word collaborate. We can collaborate with each other once we recognize first who we are, our strengths, and not weaknesses, but where we don't all have the skills and talents, but we can look to others for that. We can create more peace and harmony, and just doing more self-care. My last words are to be sure you're doing your daily self-care.
Yes, definitely. Today, more than ever. And like you said, it could be anything that brings you peace or balance or even excitement. It could be that as well, if you're into that, jumping out of a plane, well, with a parachute, mind you. Not whatever. It's
That's
okay.
right.
My imagination just takes me away. So because we're here on the Epic Vision Zone, I have one last question for you. If your life were an epic story, what would the title be?
Right now, it's stop overworking and start overflowing, or how I found my way to stop overworking and start overflowing. That's really the theme, because this goes back to even my upbringing and how I was conditioned, and how I found more freedom to be more in the flow.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And I love that you just brought that up, conditioned, because we are, unfortunately, a lot of us conditioned. And being aware of that we were put in the box. It's just not who humans are meant to be. And I think once we break free of that, then we're in the flow. It's a little bit of a metaphor. Once you get out of the cage, you can just be in the flow of life. So I want to thank you so much, Kristi, for joining us here today and sharing with us the information on human design, which I think is just a fabulous and fascinating newer modality that I think more and more people are going to start to resonate with, especially in these crazy staticky times that I call them. Be sure to check out Kristi's website at kristihsullivan.com. And you can also find all of her contact information on our Epic Zone bio page. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Jane Applegath, and check out how you can become an epic entrepreneur at janeapplegath.com and get your free download at the keys to your dreams. This is the Epic Vision Zone, transforming your dreams into epic success.